It's Carter Sports back, and today one of USC defensive groups been named top 10 in the country by On3. So let's go. And if you been here before, can you please hit that like, please? And if you ain't subscribed, boy, you better subscribe. Trojan family, Trojan gang, fight on forever is in the building. And today we gonna talk about how On3 then gave one of the position groups for USC a top 10 rating. So let's talk about it. Now we all know that DB position group is probably the deepest and most talented on our defensive roster, right? So it makes sense that they got the safeties. They got the safeties at least in their top 10. USC coming in at number 6, according to On3, the top safeties. I think we could argue top 5, but let's go over the list. They had Iowa number 1. They had Ohio State number 2, Georgia number 3, Notre Dame number 4, Penn State number 5, and USC came in at number 6. Then number 7 was Iowa State, number 8 Oregon, 9 Alabama, 10 Texas. So I can't really be mad at it. I think we could have squeezed up in the top 5, but that's a nice talented group right there. But the reason why I think we should have slid into the top 5 because of the depth. I think they looking at duos like the not even necessarily too deep, but the safety and the free safety duo. If they dig deeper and look at our depth, I think we would have cracked the top 5, because I don't think they even considering Jalen Smith, who played nickelback for most of the season, played safety against Louisville. He somebody who could play safety/safety hybrid nickelback as well. Then you got Anthony Beavers. We all know Beavers, he's the same thing. He could play nickel, he could play safety. I think he could even play outside linebacker because he weighed 225, right? He about the same size as Mason Cobb. His versatility is sick. We got to find some way to get Anthony Beavers on the field. A kid who got a body that could play safety or linebacker and even nickel if need be. Our safety room is stacked, especially when you add in the versatile players who could play the position, especially like Jalen Smith and Anthony Beavers, and they not necessarily listed as safeties, right? I don't think On3 cover USC like us, so I'm thinking they just looking at the depth chart when they looking at the safeties. I think they more looking at Achille Arnold, Ramsey, as they should, and probably Bryson Shaw and Christian Pierce. I don't think they factoring in the capabilities of Anthony Beavers and Jalen Smith to play that position. And then we still got Zion Branch, then the young stud Marquise Gallegos and Jarvis Boatwright. Jarvis Boatwright was laying hats during spring practice and spring ball this year. I watch a lot of USC little highlights and the highlight clips they making. If you notice, Jarvis Boatwright being a lot of those clips laying wood. So I get it. They looking at what's gonna be on the field. You know what I'm saying? Most teams don't play 5 or 6 safety, so I don't think they considering depth. I think they looking on the first service, probably the 2 deep. But if you look at top to bottom overall safety room, you know, I think ain't no school got more talent. Now the schools ahead of us, they probably got better overall starters, right? So it's probably a better duo than Kamari and Achille, right? But they ain't got the depth. You could take Kamari and Achille out, and I'll be comfortable if Jalen Smith and Anthony Beavers was back there playing safety, right? I'll be comfortable. You could take them out. I'll be comfortable with Christian Pierce and Marquise Gallegos and our Jarvis Boatwright out there playing safety. How Jarvis Boatwright look, I feel comfortable with that. So if you look at our possible 3 deep, 4 deep room at safety, nobody can challenge us out the 2 deep. Nobody can challenge us out the 2 deep. Our 5th and 6th guy who could play safety, they'll start on a lot of teams. You know what I'm talking about? So I respect On3. I mean, I can't be mad at 6. I mean, we was a hell of Alabama, Oregon, you know, some powerhouse schools that's known to just develop talent and have talent, particularly in this secondary. So at least they know there's something, right? It's gonna be scary. I ain't even gonna talk about I ain't gonna talk about the defensive line. I know we ain't gonna be top 10 in that. But do y'all think our linebacker room could get top 10? Because how Desmond Stevens and Elijah Newby look, and you add that to what we already got with the experience of Mascarenas Arnold and Eric Gentry and Mason Cobb and Rayshawn Davis, the way Desmond Stevens look. Desmond Stevens is our biggest linebacker. He's just a freshman. And Elijah Newby is probably our fastest linebacker. He just a freshman. Our biggest linebacker is a freshman. And you ask me, our fastest linebacker is a freshman in Newby. Right? So we can see if they let us crack the top 10 in the linebacking core. They probably don't, because Mason Cobb had a down year. Rayshawn Davis is still to have that year that popped. You know, Eric Gentry was injured. They probably only gonna really show love to Mascarenas Arnold and Eric Gentry because he's a unicorn. But Cobb and Davis, they probably like, you know what I'm saying? And then you know they ain't on our freshmen. You know they ain't aware of Desmond Stevens and Newby like that. So we might not, but it'll be interesting to see. So that's why I hope we still could get some players in the trenches, because our back 7 is lovely. I feel like it's an all-star team with potential and experience and production, right? Man, so hopefully, I mean, I seen Suggs, he went to LSU, man. Hopefully we could get somebody, man. We need somebody's depth at least and coach up what we got, because our back 7 is lethal, and at least On3, they see our safety room, we kind of beefy. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. So until then, it's Carter Sports. It's Trojan City. It's LA. So let's go.